promise we're back into the fold, baby. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. The name is Law Nation. I get it. I know a lot of people are angry. A lot of people are still upset at it. But, hey, we're back at it, Cowboy Nation. All right, so with that being said, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for being part of this episode. This is the post-game show, the post-game thoughts of everything. As you guys begin to feel right on in, shout out to you, KD. Shout out to you, Dak Owns Filthy. Appreciate you, Dwayne and things. I see you. Yeah. Y'all some real ones, man. They let me know y'all part of the notification squad. Hey, Cowboys, we fell. But, hey, we not out of it. We still into the thick of it, Cowboy Nation. Let's go. They're still on commercial break. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hey, let me know how y'all feel in the chat, in the comment box, man. I want to know, baby. I want to know. Cowboys lost, baby. I'm tired of y'all, man, because now I got to fight all of these silly people, man, about Dak Prescott. And now I'm finding myself, Cowboy Nation, fighting two ways. Law, what are you saying? Well, I'm also fighting this point right here. Now I got to fight Cowboy fans, the 4-letter and the 3-letter network, about my guy Trayvon Diggs. I got to fight about that now, because now all I'm going to hear, see, Law, Trayvon Diggs, he give up a lot of plays, and if he never gave up that double move, I mean, the Cowboys would have won, for crying out loud. I mean, it wouldn't have set the expectations of the Cowboys having a shutdown cornerback that's not existing, right? So now we got to go through that rigmarole. And it's Cowboys versus Cowboys all until the next game. And that's what I hate. You know, I see you already. Diggs exposed. But it's all good. I still trust my DB. And we going to be all right. You know, this team going to be all right. And somebody said the ref should have, they should have called delay of game, right? Secondly, there was a fumble. But I get it, right? You know, we can't go back. We can't put toothpaste back into the tube, Cowboy Nation. We can't do that. And we can't. Let me kick this right here. Bear with me. I'm still setting up the house over here. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. One love to everybody. One love to all of the Cowboys followers and Cowboys supporters. Shout out to Arizona Jerome. He didn't talk a lot. You know, Arizona Jerome didn't talk a lot. But I got a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans that jumped in my inbox, and they want to do a table talk. So I guess I'll talk to them. We'll set up a conference call, and I'll talk to them. Maybe I'll talk to Bird Gang, and then him and his lady, they jumped in. They want to do a show, as well as Lord Bronson. Maybe I'll reach out to him, because this is how it goes. You know, the Eagles got a chance to be in the playoff, and it's depending on what Minnesota do tonight, I guess, right? This is how it goes, Cowboy Nation. But let's not fret. Let's not jump off the bridge. You know, technically speaking, let's not do that. Let's not do that. But it is what it is. And shout out to our punt kicker, too. Our punt kicker is amazing, right, Cowboy Nation? No sense of urgency. I see that. Minnesota versus Green Bay. Y'all let me know. Is it tonight or is it Monday night? Y'all let me know. And, for those who just not tuning in, Michael Gallup is out for the remainder of the season. Due to a torn ACL. We hope all is well with him.
The team that we have, what we've got, just simply didn't get it done as a team. Starting with myself, got to be better, and all of us, we've got to look at ourselves in the mirror and find a way to come out with a.
Can y'all hear the audio?
Game like this.
That late fumble, just got to protect it. Or what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, great punch out by that guy. Just got to protect it better. Maybe get two hands on it as I'm spinning out of it, I guess. I mean, I had one on it, thought I had it tight, but great effort by him. Got to figure out a way to keep control of that to the.
You've talked to us about how you would run more later in the season when it mattered more. What do you make of your running game today?
I did it obviously more than I have. Wasn't enough for the win, so I'm not giving any pat on the backs or anything. But yeah, I've got to protect the ball when I run. That's what I take away from it.
Can you describe how difficult it was for you to discern what they were in? Because Buda Baker was saying the whole thing with you is just disguising the coverage. If you know what you're seeing, you're going to have a big day, and so that was kind of their priority. Yeah,
I mean, they definitely did that. I feel like every team I play, though, does that more than they do other guys, I guess you can say. So it's just important for me to watch my film study and then see the post-snap. And, I think I did a solid job of it. They did a good job of disguising, trying to show some blitzes, and then got out of there, brought a couple of them. They did a good job of getting their hands up on some DB pressures, batting the ball down, and things like that. Obviously put us in second and long and situations that you don't want to be in. And so, credit to those guys for what they did, but we'll see them again.
Can you take us through what worked on your touchdown with MG and also how difficult it was to see him suffer that injury?
Yeah, it was tough. It was very tough. And then obviously just coming in and halftime and going to see him, just unfortunate. As a guy that I love, teammate, not many can't get a better teammate than MG. So, sick about it. And obviously did a hell of a job going up and getting the touchdown. Honestly, I haven't seen the play, don't know how he did it, or didn't see the replay of the catch. But I know I put it up there, and he went and did what MG does.
Some of your teammates have been talking about having to play against the referee. Did you see some of the penalties maybe shouldn't have been called? How do you feel the referees call this game?
Don't do it, Dak.
We'll play against whoever. We'll play against the 11 and the others if we have to.
Don't do it, Dak. Don't say it.
I've come accustomed to it, honestly. I don't know if we ever get things that necessarily go our way, but we can't sit there and gripe about it and try to. You just got to play the hand that you're dealt and try to overcome those things and don't put yourselves in those situations. So we can do a better job of that alone, of trying to not put ourselves in a situation and keep them out of the game.
Yeah,
stay focused again. How much do you want to see them again?
For sure. To get to where we go, we got to play the best. And obviously, this team right here gave us their best shot, and we came up 3 points short. And if we start this tournament off against them, we're excited about it.
Right.
We're excited about just where we're headed and what the direction this team's going to go. So, whoever it is, line them up. We'll play here. We'll play their place, their backyard, whatever. I've got a lot of confidence in this team.
There you
Teammates
go.
are more vocal about the officiating than usual. Is that something that you tell them as leader after today, we got to move on, or what's your message to them about that?
Yeah, I'm not giving I'm not sitting there talking about the officials telling my teammates to not talk about them or talk about them. They express their feelings about their frustrations. It is what it is. As I said, I think we got to do a better job of trying to keep them out of it. But as I said, I've come accustomed to it. I understand wearing the star and what it means. And sometimes things don't go your way, and that's all right. We're going to play the hand that we're dealt and try to overcome things.
You weren't able to get the run game going much today. Was that a case of falling behind and you just didn't get back to it, or were they doing some things to take it away early?
Talk to me
I've
about
got to go
it.
back and watch the film, obviously, and just talk about it and discuss it with the guys. We're talking an hour after the game, so I don't want to give any necessarily raw opinion on that.
There you go.
But it wasn't. A couple of the runs, obviously, we had called back, and that's unfortunate. As I said, we got to do a better job of keeping the refs out of the game. And they did a good job on some of the other ones, but I can't tell you why.
Jack, how much pressure did you feel tonight? Considering there was a missed field goal, we're talking about the penalties, we had the fumble. How much pressure did you feel on yourself to place on your shoulders to try to get this team back in the game?
No difference than any other game. I've said a million times, pressure is privilege, and I like being in those moments. Whether it was me fumbling the ball and right there in the fourth quarter, obviously, and the defense giving us a chance to get it back after they only kicked a field goal. If we maybe get that ball right there and have a chance to go at the end of the game and have a chance to go down there and score, that's the position that I want to be in. So that's part of the game. Playing this position, that's always there.
Big facts.
Is it as simple as saying, the urgency of the moment in the football?
Sneeze in the background.
Reminds me of Thanksgiving, the way y'all were able to get going in the fourth quarter. Is that just knowing that you're running out of time, or is there
one more time?
In the fourth quarter, it seemed like y'all were able to get the offense going a little bit. Is that just as simple as the urgency of knowing that you're running out of time?
I mean, just some things worked better, I guess. As I said, we right there at the end, we weren't putting ourselves in second and or first and second and long, and we were able to get some good first down plays and just get some things going. Had to convert a fourth down, and guys, just obviously we locked in and embraced that moment there of having to go get some points and having to get back into this game, and that's what we did.
Before the game, you got to visit with Kendra. Talk about the relationship over the years, what that's been like.
Yeah, I mean, Kendra's an awesome man. Just the way that I've seen him grown, his personality. Was a shy guy when I first met him, and then now he's got lots of confidence. So I'm doing an interview before the game that made me proud, and he's just somebody that inspires me each and every day of my life. And then it's always great just getting to see him and hanging around him.
All right, there's Dak Prescott with the media after the Cowboys fall to the Cardinals 25-22. I want to get back into the play-by-play cut that we heard coming into this segment coming up because of the importance that play had in the outcome of this game. But let's talk now with Bobby Belt, Cowboys insider for NFL Network and the Cowboys flagship station, 105.3 The Fan. But first, home to over 8,500 of your favorite electronic games, more than 1,000 table game seats, and 1,400 luxury hotel rooms. It's always a good time at Windstar World Casino and Resort, the casino of the Dallas Cowboys. Bobby, just your initial thoughts after this loss for the Cowboys.
I mean, it's amazing the difference a week makes. A week last week and then the week this week. I mean, there's just
night and day.
It's falling back into bad habits. You don't, even look Amari Cooper's way until a minute left in the first quarter. We talk about how much Dak was playing well under center, and you come out there and you put him in shotgun 2/3 of the time. Through the first three quarters, Dak was 8 of 9 under center, and he was 7 of 19 from shotgun. And everything that they were disrupting him with seemed to be in the shotgun. And, I mean, it's frustrating. And I mean, they can talk afterwards about how much they think the referees are to blame because of a fumble, but it shouldn't take a fumble bailing you out to have beaten this football team.
Right. Yeah. Plenty of plays you left on the field.
Lots.
Get them, Bobby. I love it.
It can be bad. You can't let it affect the outcome of the game. You have to make plays to overcome poor officiating or missed calls.
Get off the field. Get off the field on third down.
Right.
You just look at their first, up through the point where they had 22 points. I don't know about 25. Up through the point that they had 22 points, they allowed conversions of 3rd and 9, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 1 on all of the scoring drives. They had a chance to get off the field on every single last one.
And this was a
Get
defense that was one of the best in the league when it came to that.
Yep, good call.
Do you think it was a lot had to do with, though, Bobby, with the quarterback that was playing tonight for Arizona, as far as the third down stuff and maybe taking the Cowboys out of some of the things that they might have wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like Dan Quinn told us earlier in the week, you're having to guard basically 2-3 plays at a time when he's in there.
Sure.
And he's just, the way he can extend things and the way that you have to change your defense on the fly when he breaks, the pocket or when he starts to roll out. He's absolutely a difficult player to game plan for, and he was a MVP candidate for the first half of the season for a reason. But it was there for them to win. The Cowboys had so many errors with I understand the issues with running into a brick wall on first down as many times as they did. I don't understand, again, not getting Amari Cooper involved early.
Get him, Bobby!
Taking these snaps out of center. Buda Baker, I just sent you guys that clip where Buda Baker said that they knew they were going to have to disguise a bunch of stuff. And the Cowboys talked about that all week, that they knew that was coming, that they're going to have to do it. And it's still, they weren't prepared. How many times did we see the kill from Dak in the first half? He was not certain where he was supposed to be going with things tonight.
Well, there was a lot of up and back between the line and stuff and going let me ask you this, though.
Yep.
Bigger surprise, though, about Dak, the way he played today, or the 5 starters on the offensive line?
The offensive line was brutal.
Ready.
See, that's what I mean, and this was the first time that these guys would come back, and everybody was excited about that.
You didn't have Marcus Golden that you had to worry about.
Right. That's the
Buda Baker, who tore it up.
Yeah.
Buda Baker should have had 3 interceptions today.
Yeah.
Was questionable coming into this game. You didn't have to worry about Rondell Moore on the offensive side or James Conner. This was all laid out in front of you. This was a team that somebody in that building told me earlier this week they were worried they were going to get their asses kicked by Dallas.
Yeah.
And then this is how Dallas came out there and played. It's just
timid.
It's never a good night
they
when
didn't go
when
all
two teams
in.
are playing. Dak Prescott comes out of it as the 4th best quarterback in the game behind Chris Banjo and Cedric Wilson.
Let me
and
ask you
Kyler
this,
Murray.
though, Bobby, and just, I know this is post-game talk and all that.
Yep.
is this team what it is right now? Is that what the team that you feel like they are playing against a team that?
Well, and Mike McCarthy was asked about this.
Yeah,
and he says, "Well, we know who we are,
but yeah, does he know that he's going to struggle against teams that have
who are they?
Good players?
I mean, I know you love the identity question.
I hate the identity question.
Here's the identity of this football team.
Ari's going to ask me at like about 9 o'clock tonight.
Here's the identity: inconsistency.
Yeah.
They're completely inconsistent. Some weeks
good.
they're going to be great, some weeks they're not, and that's terrifying as you head into the playoffs and you're playing good football teams. Now, there's a lot of inconsistent football teams right now at the top of both conferences. But I mean, you felt like Dallas had ironed out their issues, and this was a chance. They talked about it was a measuring stick game, and then Mike McCarthy wants to come into the press conference and say, "No, it's not a measuring stick game. No, you can't go back now that you've lost. You can't say
Bobby!
No, it's not a measuring stick game." Your entire offense was talking about how it was a measuring stick game in the media this week. And so if that's the case, you measure below them.
If we all of a sudden watching the film and other the national people, the guys like the Brian Baldinger and those guys, and all of a sudden they show Dak being confused, is that going to be a huge concern for you? 6-year vet Dak Prescott getting confused on looks?
Question. It's a great question.
Yeah. I mean, it's concerning. I don't know that it's a long-term concern. I have faith that the work that he puts in, he'll right these things.
Oh, he works hard. There's no question.
I just don't know that this is going to be something that gets righted before the end of this year. It might be off-season work, and that's a concerning point right now for them. They're just
what is it?
I mean, everybody has a hand in this. Dak didn't play well, but you can't have Tony Pollard dropping balls straight in his chest, and you can't have the offensive line doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Dak scrambles for a first down. Oh, holding on Connor Williams. Tony Pollard picks up 8, holding on Lyle Collins.
Get him, Bobby.
Penalties called the Cowboys were either on 3rd or 4th down, either on offense or defense. So I mean, you're right. They picked up first downs on a 3rd down, holding penalties. They have a 3rd and long, defensive pass interference. I mean, that 7 of the 10, if you include the 2-point conversion penalty, 8 of the 10, 3rd or 4th down or a 2-point conversion. I mean, that's the margins right there. Bobby Belt, always appreciate your time. Can't wait. Really looking forward to reading what you have to write about this game on 1053thefan.com. Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bobby Belt, Cowboys insider for the flagship station of the Cowboys, 1053 The Fan, and of course NFL Network, joining us here on the Dallas Cowboys postgame show with Brian Broaddus. I am Ari Temkin.
Bobby, you better be careful, man. You spitting too much truth. Cowboys insider, they're gonna put around and you're gonna be an outsider. But shout out to Bobby Belt, man, wonderful guy, an amazing Twitter follower too. Follow Bobby Belt and be sure to check out 105.3 The Fan. It's straight facts. I like it. It's straight down the middle. It's nothing to sell everything on Dak. It's nothing to fold up on Dak. It's nothing to say, okay, it's only Dak. He gave some polished response. Offensive line didn't look polished, right? And his response was amazing, Cowboy Nation. That's the only thing he left out. He left out the kicker. That's the only thing that Bobby Belt left out, the kicker. But everything else, he was right. Dak scrambles for a first down, Connor holding, right? Ezekiel had an amazing run, one of his better runs this season, basically. Cut and gun, get upfield. We look back, there's laundry out there. Now, that's of course 50-50 because you can call holding calls on every pass, right? Yeah. So shout out to those boys, man, for spitting that out there. They on commercial break, but man, I'm telling you, this team, we got to pull out that iron and go through some things. Now, shout out to my guy Akeem. He says it's good that, and I'm paraphrasing what you said, Akeem, but I remembered your message. You said it's good to be optimistic about the Cowboys, but you're realistic in saying that the Cowboys are not ready for the playoffs. Well, my counter to your realistic is that the optimistic, even in the actual context of what we're talking about, the Cowboys are 11-5. We won 11 games, lost 5 of them. We are heading into the playoff regardless. Playoff caliber football turns up a degree. Nobody saw, and I'm not trying to say the Cowboys are this team or is this team basically. But was the 2007 Giants ready for the playoffs? You see, that's the issue. No one knows. I think that even the Steelers, I believe they made it to the playoff 8-8, and they managed to get all the way up there. Nobody saw them coming. So what I want people to understand that, yes, realistically speaking, we still 11-5. We are what our record is. There's no way that we can sit here and say this team is going to win the Super Bowl at the start of the season. And the only time you've been right, unless you're rooting for Tom Brady. The brother been to many, many playoff games, right? And many, many Super Bowl games. But this team is a long way from 8-8, right? This team is a long way. And I know some of y'all going to get the bitter feeling of saying, okay, let's crucify the quarterback. If the kicker make this kick, I know if was a fifth. I need to come out with that drink. If I need to come out with that drink. Do we still talk about this? The difference between this game and the Jets. The Jets played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, and they won. The Tampa Bay won. And I can easily say the Tampa Bay just have a better kicker than ours. They pulled theirs out of you know what. The Rams versus the Ravens against a backup quarterback over there. The Rams pulled it out, and they won. Their kicker didn't miss their kicks. So I come back, and I'm not trying to put toothpaste back into the tube because my optimism is just my optimism. It's going to always flow out. If they kicker missed their kicks, would they be not playoff ready? That's all I'm saying with that. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know, a lot of people are worried about this and that. But realistically speaking, the score was 25-22. Just like this. That's what football is, a game of inches. Yes, Dak Prescott got to hold on to that ball better. But that back shoulder fade pass to Gallup, may he have a quick recovery, was worth it all. That back shoulder pass was a good one. Yeah, somebody said 11-5 on an easier schedule. What's determined easy? You can only play the teams that's in front of you. And the Cowboys are the only organization that get slack talk and back talk about their DBs, about their quarterback, and about their running back. Cowboys are the only organization that a third of you guys was ready to kick DeMarcus Lawrence off this team. And I can go back and show you guys multiple plays where the man is being held left and right. I digress. Cowboy Nation. Appreciate you, Mario. Dak is a big problem. Well, what would be the big solution? Cowboys. What would be the biggest solution? How many teams got a better record right now than 11-5 right now? What would be the biggest solution right now? Anybody can win those games? Well, what happened last year? And on top of that, I recall all of the pundits saying the Washington football team, they'll make it back to the playoff because all they got to do is play their own division. They had, five? To finish out their division, they had 5 straight division games. What happened? That's supposed to be an easy schedule for them, right? Taylor May said it ain't Dak Prescott his play caller.
Here in 2 weeks as the 4th seed playing this team, and this team's going to get healthy with DeAndre Hopkins getting back to the playoffs, their left tackle, DJ Humphries being able to get healthy enough to get back, Rondale Moore, I should say, James Conner. So this was a pretty beat up team that you were not able to take advantage of, and now you're going to get them in a couple of weeks in the playoffs. not as beat up, not even close to it, and closer to that 7-0 football team that started the year 7-0. 877-881-1053 is the number. Let's talk with Jerry in New Mexico here on the post-game show.
Jerry
ahead,
Jones, baby.
You're on with Brian Broaddus and Ari Temkin.
Hey, Brian, I've got 3 quick questions. Number 1, why is the kicker still on the roster? Number 2, Dak Prescott has had a fourth-quarter turnover in 4 of the last 5 games. That's not cutting it. And number 3, is the running game a scheme coaching problem? Because it doesn't seem to me like, why can't we run the ball? We should be able to run the ball better than what we're doing. I'll hang up and listen.
Just Dak, man. Dak they can't run.
Dak Prescott now 4 fourth-quarter turnovers in his last 5 games, which is a really good stat that I didn't know. And then the running game is scheme-related.
Yeah, I think the thing with the running game, though, to me, that's the most troubling thing because you would figure that there were guys, you've got a group up front that's a pretty powerful group. And then we've talked about what the difference is of having Connor Williams in as that left guard. I kind of felt like today that after watching the Colts, and I know the Colts are a different style of running team, but that's a big physical offensive line. I kind of felt like this Dallas Cowboys offensive line was a big physical offensive line. It might not be. I'm really looking forward to sitting down and kind of studying with all these guys together. What were the problems? Were they getting beat up inside? Were they losing some one-on-one battles up inside there? I think a lot of it has to do with the way that sometimes that Kellen Moore calls the game. And I wonder how many times Dak Prescott checks out of runs or checks into runs that, you would think that if he saw heavy box, light box, he could kind of adjust that. But they've just not done a very good job. Maybe we think this offensive line is better than it really is when it comes to a physicality. I know your tight ends don't block worth a damn. I know that for a fact. At the
somebody
point
pointed that out earlier.
Problem. The Dak Prescott
appreciate you whoever pointed that out.
There's some issues there. The thing with the but
that's Dak Prescott fault
today.
Though.
Only
Shout
lost
to you
one of
only.
them. So yeah, ball security, that was something that was kind of a problem for his
had
in the pocket.
Interception taken off the board from a penalty.
Exactly. When we were all screaming for him to run the ball, and then he runs the ball, and and that was a hell of a play. It was much like what we saw the other day with Tank Lawrence punching the ball out, like that. If your back's to the defense and you're trying to kind of spin and all that, and they're punching the ball, that's just ball security right there. The thing with Greg Zuerlein, that's all about Bones Fossil.
Y'all keep me up to date on Minnesota.
Bones Fossil right there. Mike McCarthy is going to
versus Green Bay game.
Mike McCarthy is going to bow to any things that Bones Fossil wants to do when it comes to those special teams.
Big fact.
Especially personnel.
Yeah, especially personnel. I've been in a lot of programs. I was here with Joe Alvazano. He was a very strong personality in that room. Dave Campo allowed it. Jimmy Johnson allowed it. That's what I'm saying. Some of these special teams coaches carry a big stick, and everybody's trying to. I think today was the first time that I kind of felt like that Mike McCarthy was a little frustrated with the kicking situation because he says, Greg knows these. We have to have these. These are playoff type situations. This was the first day I detected that. I didn't detect the huge support that we'd been seeing since he's missing some of these field goals the last several weeks.
But what can they do? I mean, they're going to kind of live and die with this guy.
You're going to have to cut him like Bill Belichick.
At this part of the season.
Well, we'll see.
Belichick would have cut him.
Liam, who they brought in,
Hyralahu.
Yeah, he is on, I believe, the football team's practice squad.
So you can sign a player off a practice squad. They've got to be in your active roster.
Yeah, they got to bring him over. If you're gonna make that move, you're gonna make that move. But
would you do that?
You know what?
Liam never missed.
I just when we've talked.
You don't get to week 7.
Yeah,
right.
all of a sudden, now we're talking about this. This is something that
JD from DC. Appreciate you.
Or how about in week 3 or week 7?
Or preseason when he didn't kick at all.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is we've talked about the number, Ari. It was 43% of the kicks either he misses in his career for the Cowboys have either been a extra point or a field goal. He misses one a game. But this is the special teams coach that has a big stick in that room, and he's going to beat everybody over the head with it.
Here's the reality of the situation. This kicker has made 8 of 13 from 40-plus this season.
What?
8 of 13 from 40-plus.
Yeah.
He's 6 of 8 from 40 to 49. He's 2 of 5 from 50+. He's hit 61% of his field goals from 40 yards out. That is terrible. That is going to kill you in the playoffs. Yeah. I mean, he's 82% overall, but 40+ is 61%?
Yeah, he is part of a bigger problem what we saw today, though, with the quarterback and the struggles he had with what Arizona and Vance Joseph were able to do, how they were able to shut down this offense, with their personnel, with their front.
Shout out to you, Chuck.
Because you missed the field goal here.
We did just kind of put the Scott Novak talk about the referee aside, put the talk about the kicker aside. You really lost this football game because your inability to do anything offensively, which we all kind of felt like, well, maybe they're getting some things going here. Maybe they're going to – but, yeah, Arizona did a great job of really harassing Dak, covering on the outside, and then not letting you run the football at all.
Post-game show is brought to you by Miller Lite. Miller Lite is the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. It's Miller time, and after a 25-22 loss to the Cardinals, it is certainly Miller time. 877-881-1053. Let's talk with Sabrina in Lancaster. Go ahead, Sabrina. You're on the Dallas Cowboys post-game show.
Hi, guys.
Lancaster,
Happy
man.
New Year to everybody.
You too, ma'am.
Yeah, that guy that just came on, he asked one of the questions of my 3 questions I had about Zerline. What's the status about him?
Sure.
But anyway, I wanted to ask about Dak. Just a few minutes ago, he made the statement about that he was on and he's been practicing about how to come out of spins and all this kind of stuff and run and stuff. Well, my question is are they doing that on the practice squad? Because I can't see them punching him and hitting him that hard like the regular
you're right.
players were doing.
Yeah, he doesn't get touched, ma'am, in practice. Trust me on that.
So, yeah, so when he says he's working on it, take it with the greatest
tongue in
salt.
cheek, baby.
Sabrina, appreciate the phone call, 877-881-1053. I mean, that's part of it is you can't really work on.
Now, is it Lancaster or is it Lancaster? You know what I'm saying? Because I talk to people and they say, man, I'm from Lancaster. And then I said, no. Some people say it's Lancaster. Y'all let me know.
Guys that know how to get the ball out. So, yeah, it's just a matter of protecting. But, it's a good question. She's absolutely right. They do not work on those things. You can work on ball security and stuff, and they do it in pregame and stuff, or excuse me, pre-practice stuff, but it's not like nobody's hammering the quarterback to get the ball out of there.
877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Let's talk with Adam in Garland. Go ahead, Adam. You're on the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network.
What's up, guys? Hope you guys are having a great new year.
Thank you.
Quick question for Broadus. How far are we from having a
Lancaster
situation with Dak Prescott in our hands? Thank you all for taking my call, and I'll just hang up and listen.
Appreciate that,
Johnny.
I think that it's a fair point. I mean, there's people that don't like Dak Prescott. There's people that like Dak Prescott. That's kind of always the way it's been for these Cowboy quarterbacks, the love-hate. I kind of look at it as a way of, he's a guy that he's capable of making plays. You're capable of seeing great throws. You're capable of seeing him move the football. You're capable of seeing him run the football when he has to run and, get the first downs and things like that. But you're also, the things I think that holds Dak Prescott back is sometimes his ability to really, and I say process quickly enough to, if somebody gives him a look that makes it a little bit muddy for him. I don't think it's Jared Goff, like, completely get in, but, is it something that as a 6-year vet, you do worry a little bit, are people giving him looks that are confusing him and making him play slow? That's the thing that I worry about with Dak. When he wants to just rip it, like, you get an offside situation where somebody jumps, what's the first thing he does?
Rip it.
He rips it. I mean, he didn't even think about it. And right now, and when Dak Prescott's at his best, he's really not thinking about it. He's ripping it. But I think there's a certain amount of pressure on him to make plays and protect the football. And when that doesn't happen, then you see what happens today, where he has a couple of turnovers. He had a couple of balls, like you said, that should have been picked off today. Had a bunch of balls tipped today. I thought the other guy on the other side was going to get those balls tipped, but your quarterback got them as well.
The caller's indicating there that you might have a guy on a big-time contract.
Yeah, that you might need to move on from. And, I don't see the Cowboys thinking about that. I mean, that's something to me that...
I think Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Jared Goff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do personally.
Yeah.
But he's trying to make a reference of big money, you extended a guy, and then how can you move on from him kind of thing.
I think the people
probably a little bit too early to make
Dak
that
Prescott
call. I'd say Dak has struggled this year, certainly.
He has. He absolutely has.
People are right to be critical of Dak. There's no question. You cannot. There's no window dressing. There's no other way to dress it up other than to say that he struggled, and the Cowboys need him to play more consistently and play better, especially down the stretch of these football games, and not turn the ball over, like the one caller mentioned who has 4 turnovers in his last 5 games of the fourth quarter, which is a number now that I'm hearing it. That's remarkable and makes a lot of sense. Brian brought us Ari Temkin. Still to come, we'll hear from Jerry Jones, what he had to say after the call, plus Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch with a surprisingly good game from LVE, plus your phone calls at 877.
Man, people going to forever hate Dak Prescott until he win a Super Bowl. That's just bottom line. I can't look at it any other way. They going to forever hate. And now they're going to get coy with it. Like when we win in a little bit, they're going to be like, I don't hate Dak Prescott. He's all right. He's all right. But I'm a realist, man. I'm just calling it real, man. Dak Prescott sucked. We're going to forever hear it. We're going to forever hear it. And that's just how it goes by being a Cowboys. Look, I've seen while the game was going, people was yelling for Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush, Cooper Rush. If Cooper Rush is that great, then we should trade him. We should trade Cooper and get multiple draft picks and get a whole bunch of stuff. Why you say that, Law? Because if you do that, don't you know if Cooper Rush is better than Dak Prescott, then you can sell the fact that Dak Prescott record is, let me put in the chat right here. I'm gonna put Dak Prescott record. You can tell if you say that Cooper Rush is better, then you can literally say, well, Dak Prescott is pretty much 52-32 as a starting quarterback. And if you can say that, well, Cooper Rush is better, don't you know that's a valuable trade there? Trade Dak Prescott and get some multiple stuff from that. If you think that Dak Prescott is that worse or horrible as a quarterback. He plays like Party says he played like Tim Tebow. But I guess you're missing the point. He's 52-32. 50, and all 52 wins, according to the people that watch football, came from below 500 teams. Meaning that Dak Prescott found the cheat code to being the average or below average quarterback. Think about what y'all are saying. Just pump the brakes a little bit. That Dak Prescott is an average or below average quarterback that found a way to win 52 games and only lost 32. That, my friend, is the luckiest man on the planet Earth to also get a they paid him $75 million. Because he's the only quarterback to win 52 games. All been below 500 teams. It's just like he's the only guy that can do it because all other average quarterbacks can't do it. All of the other below average quarterbacks or below quarterbacks can't do it. Now, I don't know about you guys. There was some good odds. And he's in the NFC. Jackie Flash says he's in the NFC East. So meaning that Jalen Hurts in the next 6 years, his record should be 52-32. Meaning that, who else the quarterback? Danny Jones. Danny Dobbs. He should be 52 in 30 games. It got to be. It flat out got to be. Oh, so now you pivot and say the roster is loaded. So when it's time for the Cowboys to draft, only the Dallas Cowboys pick the good ones? Is that the case in the scenario? Because in the last 25 years, if that's the case in the scenario, shouldn't we produce? Shouldn't we produce a level of multiple Super Bowl? Because if Dak Prescott, because can somebody divide that number of the percentage? If he's only been playing for 6 years, you can really take away 1, really 5, because he was injured because he only played like 4 games right before the injury. So out of the 25 years, Dak percentage of the Cowboys' downfall is his fault. Is that what y'all are saying? That 15 years ago it was Dak Prescott's fault. 20 years ago it was Dak Prescott's fault. 7 years ago it was Dak Prescott's fault. But somehow between 2016 into present day, this man done won 52 games. I can't believe it. I can't make this stuff up. And the quarterback that you guys elevate to being one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time that's wearing that terrible green. They got a G on the side of his helmet. He only got one more ring than Dak Prescott. One more. I can't make this stuff up. And their organization and franchise don't get the level of scrutiny. Don't they draft the same time we draft? It's foolishness, Cowboy Nation, of the level of extent of it. The foolishness coming from you guys of typing this in. 52 and 32. But it's all Dak Prescott's fault. I can't make this stuff up. I can't. Dak Prescott fault in 2007 and 2009. Right.
Playing right now, and I honestly do believe that maybe even
now,
this
Jay,
evening,
this is what I can tell you to do.
Tomorrow morning, Jerry, Steven, will.
Why don't you lean forward a little bit? Yeah, right there. See, it don't work that way. This is Law Nation. You listen to the law. This ain't your channel.
Now you're playing a playoff game, and also
now I can tell you to leave
show, and it's a 25-23 Cowboy loss or whatever. 25-22,
don't disrespect the host,
whatever it was, and just
you
that's
get
it.
dealt with.
It's over because you didn't convert on a 43-yard field goal. Those are things. I think there needs to be an honest conversation with Mike McCarthy, with the Joneses, and also maybe with Bones Fossil about this, and try and say, listen, we've had your back this whole time, but we need to potentially have a plan in place for somebody more consistent if we can find that.
Shows you how much you could take certain people and players for granted, especially a kicker. I mean, Dan Bailey was so good.
Oh, yeah.
It's like since Dan Bailey was cut, it was a shocker at the end of training camp.
Yep.
They just haven't found anything in terms of consistency at the place.
Well, that's the problem you run into. Kai Forbath, I think, came in late and made a bunch of field goals in a row. But, yeah, I mean, you can't go into these games with that uncertainty. And, I mean, there's people, I was kind of following along on Twitter, there was people even talking about the extra points, where it used to be you watch the extra points and you just automatically assume everything is good.
Right.
And here you are, you're playing in perfect conditions, roof closed, doors closed, no wind, and you're hooking 43-yard field goals. No, we're not playing at Lambeau Field on chopped up grass. Now I will say this:
that's Dak Prescott fault.
He's made some game-winning field goals for you, but he's also missed enough to where you're like, you now have questions about, is that really the direction you want to go?
5 misses. He's 82% overall, but 8 of 13, 61% from 40 plus, which includes 6 of 8 from 40 plus, 40 to 49, and 2 of 5 from 50 plus. Brian Broaddus, the Super Bowl winning NFL scout. I'm Ari Temkin. Post-game shows, the Cowboys fall to the Cardinals 25-22. Brought to you by Geico. Great news. There's a quick way you can save money. Switch to Geico. Go to geico.com, and in 15 minutes you could save 50% or more on car insurance. Let's talk about the severity of this loss. Cowboys, before the game started, were in the 2 seed, but with wins for the Rams and Buccaneers, where the Rams had overcome a major deficit. The Buccaneers somehow, some way overcame a deficit and won. They both now improved to 12-4. The Cowboys' loss has them now at 11-5. They're now the 4 seed. They can fall no lower than 4 as a division champ, but 2-4, that's a really tough fall considering now you only get 1 home playoff game as opposed to 2 when you host the divisional round. And, of course, you were still within striking distance of the 1 to get the bye. But now even worse, it looks like your most likely outcome here is Cowboys-Cardinals in a couple of weeks here at AT&T Stadium. And if you're sitting there saying, oh, okay, that's fine, we'll get things fixed up and be good to go in a couple of weeks from now. We almost beat that team playing as poorly as we did. Oh, by the way, DeAndre Hopkins will be back for them. So will their left tackle who missed this game. So will their 2 of their top 3 linebackers who missed this game, including their top sack guy, Marcus Golden, who had 11 sacks coming into this game. So really, really devastating loss from that perspective, Broadus.
Yeah, it did. And we kind of talked about, remember when the Cowboys won against the football team in Washington? And then 2 weeks later, but you sent a message 2 weeks ago. When you played the football team, remember we had Julie Donaldson on from the broadcaster from the Washington football team. And when I asked her the question, she says, yeah, that's very fresh and vivid in your mind, So yeah, I mean, you're either gonna face the Cardinals or you're gonna face the Rams, and both of them are gonna be difficult. Both have their own sets of challenges that you have to deal with. But I think that to me the players were talking about this, and I'm just it always something that is in my mind. Statement game. To a man, they were talking about statement games.
Yep.
Arizona came in here and made you a statement that if you have to play us again, even shorthanded, we'll find a way to beat you guys. So I think those are the things you kind of have to take away from this.
877-881-1053 is the number. 877-881-1053. You can call or text to get in on the post-game show. Before we take some more phone calls, let's hit a station identification. Let's pause 10 seconds for a station identification. You're listening to the Dallas Cowboys.
No doubt. I think that the Cowboys played right into the hands of not showcasing what they should have done on defense. If you look back at the Cardinals' loss, when they were able to see those games, they put pressure on Kyler Murray. They didn't worry about him running the ball or what have you. That's how the Rams played him, and that's how even the Detroit Lions played him. I think the Cowboys' approach of playing zone or giving that soft look gave them too much room to pick us apart. I think that they should, next time they revisit the Kyler Murray situation, blitz them. Play your brand of football.
We've mentioned that 7 of the 10 penalties the Cowboys were called for occurred on 3rd or 4th downs.
Right.
So there's no question that those were drive killers and were major reasons for why Dak struggled in this game. But, I mean, this is not just a one-game thing. We've seen Dak now struggle multiple games over since that 7-1 start, or whatever it was, 6-1, 7-1. Right? So it's we can context ourselves to death in terms of football players, but at the end of the day, you have 8-9 games of this, and you no longer have as much context and footing to stand on when it comes to, well, I mean, it's all these other things that are happening. At some point, it's got to be on this quarterback to make plays.
Which quarterback had his offensive line together?
Right.
Which quarterback had both running backs available? Which quarterback had all his wide receivers available? Which quarterback had his tight end available? These are all things you honestly have to think about. Is it all on him? Well, he's the quarterback. The lion's share of it does fall because the ball's in his hands to make plays. So that's his responsibility. The other team's quarterback handled things very well in this game.
Right.
There were times where it wasn't perfect for him either. But he was the guy that didn't have an offensive line, lost one of his running backs, didn't have the majority of his wide receivers out there playing, and he finds a way to make plays and move the ball. That's the quarterback's responsibility. It's not we're hating on Dak.
Right.
It's like there was really no excuse not to go out there and absolutely play your best, especially after coming out of the game last week. And you even played a little bit better against overall offense against the Giants. So there was some things that at least you could build on. But to come out here, the 2 of the worst games that the Cowboys have played this year have been at home. You look at the losses, the 3 losses they've had at home. 2 of them have been really bad. The Denver loss was a bad.
All right, so I'm in this group chat with my guys, Boss. No. This is the group chat that I'm in right here. Rivach, my guy Foots the King, and also my guy Scott Walker. Kyler Murray took 7 deep shots. The Cowboys only took 2 deep shots. Kyler Murray did overthrow some of his players multiple times, Cowboy Nation. But they attempted to throw it deep. Looking at it. Now, the underneath stuff, yeah. That situation, Dak Prescott got to improve it on. Most certainly, I trust my guys' assessment of everything. But they got to at least throw it deep to make the opposition know that you can. Now, technically, the style and brand of defense that they were playing in, dropping everything in zone, disguising. I hear what Brian Broaddus is saying. But he's also missing the meat, worrying about the potatoes. If it's your 6-year quarterback within the confines of playing in the NFL, well, damn it, this is also your 3rd-year offensive coordinator that's still learning. We can run the ball effectively on the edges, but we didn't on that style of defense. There's no way in life you end this game without pulling 71 or even 70 guard on those lighter guys as it relates to that light body work that they had out there. I would have put Isaiah Simmons on the island. I would have put little old number 3, Buda Baker. He would have at least one time in the first quarter had to go up against Zach Martin or La'el Collins on a pull on the outside edge stretch play. They didn't take advantage of it, and that's coming from, and I'm not saying that I know more football than Kellen Moore. I'm not saying that I do know that. I'm not saying that. But if you listen to what Coach Marv said, and as well as my guy Boss Cowboy said, you got to establish that physicality. The Cowboys started off shotgun, spread, which is good. Home game, yeah. But you got to match physicality. That's the mindset that you got to have. You got Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, right? Pull those boys, get them on the edge. They're missing a few tropes, but I don't think that the Cowboys did that. And it doesn't take a brain surgeon to understand that. This is Kellen Moore's still 3rd year ever calling plays as an offensive coordinator. I'm quite sure that the opposing teams use that against him as well. I digress.
It's all part of the game. It's a game of adjustments, and we're here to, kind of learn. And tonight was one of those nights that we just felt like a lot of things wasn't going our way, including, the calls. But
see, they talking about calls.
You just gotta look past that and
you don't need to bring that up.
You said I feel the refs dictated that game. That can be taken a lot of different ways. How do you specifically? Because I don't want to. How do you mean that specifically? You feel like they dictated it, like they took it from you guys, or how?
No.
But don't mention it.
We couldn't get a rhythm. That's all. The refs didn't let us get a rhythm.
Don't mention that crap.
When you guys win, Dak gets a lot of praise, and then it's the opposite when you guys lose. How would you describe the game?
Say that one more time. Say that. I'm sorry. I kind of.
When you guys win, Dak gets a lot of praise, but when you guys lose, it's the opposite. How would you describe the game that Dak had tonight?
I mean, we didn't win. I know he's tough on himself, and I'm not going to really add to that, but. I feel like a lot of us, we feel like we could have did a lot of things to help him, be in a better position. At the end of the day, he's thinking about a lot of things at one time that a lot of people don't really understand what it takes to run a complete play or to win a game. You know what I'm saying? In the NFL, it's a lot of mental going on, and then along with that, obviously we gotta physically go out there and do it. But man, it's just we could have played better. That's all. We could have played better.
Because of today's result, the likeliest outcome is that it's a rematch of these two teams 2 weeks from today, right back here. How do you feel about that?
Let's do it.
There's CeeDee Lamb. What else do you expect him to say, as he's expecting, as everybody is at this point, for the Cowboys to play the Cardinals in the playoffs in a couple of weeks here in the wild card round? Certainly that will all be decided in the next week's game. But that seems like is the most likely situation. With Brian Broaddus, I am Ari Temkin. The Dallas Cowboys fall to the Arizona Cardinals 25-22. If you're just joining us, Michael Gallup has been lost for the season. He tore his ACL in this game, at least according to Jerry Jones. That's what he said. So we will obviously hear what the MRI has to say tomorrow, but Jerry's initial thoughts were a torn ACL for Michael Gallup. Plenty more to come here on the postgame show, including Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch, and DeMarcus Lawrence, plus your phone calls, your tweets, your texts, all on the way. Dallas Cowboys football will continue in a moment.
I get it for us to talk about the officials. I get it. But coaching staff got to stop allowing the players to talk about the officials. He got to. We can talk about them. That's our job to talk about them. But the players, you can't let the officials get into your head. You can't. You can't be looking back. I saw DeMarcus Lawrence chasing Kyler Murray, and he looking back for the flag. Don't let the officials get into your head. Like I said, this team got to mature a little bit. And let me see. Shout out to you, JD from DC. Law, this team need to man up, man to bleep up. No more excuses. Play through the whistle. Yeah. Don't be look. The officials had nothing to do with Tony Pollard dropping the ball. The officials, and I'm going to talk about I'm giving y'all objective analysis. I'm not going to be all on one end saying that Dak Prescott deserves a red cape and he can fly around. Dak Prescott, the official, had nothing to do with that fumble. The aficionados had nothing to do with Greg Zuerlein missing that kick. But see, when you get into the game of thinking that the officials hold all of that, now I get it. Bull jabs on a lot of calls, bull sugar. But once they get into your head, that's not Super Bowl caliber talking right there. The mindset is gone because now they are in your head. And one thing that I can tell you, the officials got human responses too. Oh, you want to complain? We're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Look, it becomes such a mind game. Think about this. Peyton Manning, at the end of every year, would write cards and letters to the officials. And not just that, he'll write cards and letters to other teams, special players, saying, I'm thinking about you, I appreciate you, that was a good game. Words of acclamation goes a long way, Cowboy Nation. Y'all might not even like me, and y'all might not even like what I stand for, but I'm going to tell you what's right. This the truth. These officials, they got squeezes, they got loved ones. Huh? They got squeezes, they got loved ones. Oh, you talking about, they get on the phone, they got a whole society. You know, like an Elks Lodge or something. You know what I'm saying? The whole brotherhood, like a frat. If you think I'm lying, there's a whole society of even police officers, a fraternity of brotherhoods. They wear a little emblem on the back of their car. Police would give you the benefit of the doubt because you're part of the society. Hey, man, officer pull you over. You got your hand. Officer pull you over. And you say, what the F you pulling me over for? What you think he gonna do? Officer pull you over. Oh, thank God, the officer, you pulled me over. You just reminded me to put my seatbelt on, man. I was rushing to go somewhere. Oh, man, okay, man. Hey, Law, you okay, man? Hey, just make sure you keep that seatbelt on. I beat him to the punch. Before he say, don't you know why I pulled you? Hey, officer, I appreciate you, man. I thank you for all that you're doing, officer. Yeah, man, I thank God, man, for you. He said, why you say that? Oh, I forgot to put my seatbelt on. Mind trickery. Mr. Thomas, you have a good day. Make sure you keep that seatbelt on. I'm driving off, taking the seatbelt back off. I'm just playing. But I'm driving off. I'm free. Mind trickery. Stop blaming the refs. I get mad. We can. We're not out there on the field. But the players. I'm Law. I can't incriminate myself. I'm Law. But the players need to understand that part of the game. Boy, we having a good time, Cowboy Nation. I hope you guys are. I'm a part of the secret society. You got another special handshake.
Live events.
Appreciate y'all for jumping in, man. Oh, my goodness. That's all I've said. It's the mindset they should not. I'm just joking with y'all, by the way. Yeah. But the Cowboys got to understand their part of it. The league is already pissed off at Jerry Jones on so many different levels. Secret Society is like, Lord, come on, man. FBI, open up! No, wrong house. They already mad at Jerry, and they already mad at the records. NFL is being controlled and operated in the East Coast. New York controls so much. East Coast and Vegas, those two, they control so much. Yeah.
You mentioned this a little bit earlier on during the post-game show. This defense has played exceedingly well.
Tough loss, but we
especially based on
11-5, baby.
expectations going into the season.
I'm
It's
mad
gotten
we ain't
better,
13-4.
but it still gives up and is susceptible to some chunk plays down the field.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, first series they gave up 3. First play of the series they gave up a 24-yard jet sweep. Then they give up a 14-yard run the very next play, and then you get hit for the 42-yard pass on the chunk there on 3rd and 9. And so, yeah, I mean, that's with the Cowboys, it's been something we've been super, super positive about this defense. It could travel, it could do this, it could do that. But you played against a different animal today. You know, when it played against a guy that it forces you to do some things you probably don't want to do defensively because of his ability to move around and run, and there's that threat. But you know, his ability to throw the ball today, I thought was and make some huge plays. But you know, we didn't look always settled. When you go back, I promise you, when you go back and watch the game, or you go watch all 22 or whatever you're going to do, you're going to watch him, and he's kind of bouncing around a little bit and throwing off his back leg and kind of hoping for the best. But when he was doing that, man, he was putting the ball right where he needed to be, and he hits you on a 42 and he hits you on a 43 later in this game. You know, on a kind of a weird sequence of plays that they were able to make.
And look, I mean, this defense has been dominant at times in this winning streak the Cowboys have had, the 4-game winning streak. They only gave up 14 points a game in that stretch.
Yeah.
But like games like this are more than likely what you're going to see in the playoffs. You're going to go up against really good offenses that can make chunk plays. It's the 25, so 25 isn't a horrible number to overcome.
Yeah.
It's the 22 that you're thinking, this is where I worry about this offense in the playoffs.
I felt like defensively today that they kind of
Come on, Rodgers, you got to make that throw.
Check. The thing that was bothering me is this defense known for 2 things: getting pressure and creating turnovers. And they had an opportunity, you know, Curse had an opportunity to snuff one. I mean, he's got to intercept that ball. I'm sorry, he's got to. That's an intercept. If he's made
him in the hands, and then it's hanging there in the air.
He's made tougher plays this year on some interceptions. You get that, then you keep them. You get a touchback. You get the ball.
See if Crosby gonna make this
kick.
That's
a great stand for you right there.
The kick.
So yeah, the chunk plays are going to be something you deal with, but the fact that they really didn't get the pressure that I kind of felt like that they were going to able to get on Kyler Murray today. And you know, he got the ball out of his hand quick. I think they had the 1 sack that went for minus 14 yards. But other than that, man, he was getting rid of the football. He was moving around. He was, you know, he's manipulating the pocket or throwing the ball away, and you know, that's the problem when you play against Kyler Murray.
877-881-1053 is the number, 877-881-1053 if you'd like to call or text to get into the postgame show. Cowboys had 9 total drives in this game.
Yeah.
They scored on 3 of them, 3 touchdown drives in this game. They, of course, missed the field goal. So that, the part to me, really over these last few weeks, and last game's the aberration because they scored 56 points, but that's the part to me where it's just like that you need to be able to score in the play. You can have playoff games that are low-scoring affairs and your defense can dominate. You're not going to go to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl unless you have an offense that is capable of winning these kinds of games. We need to get 30 points, and you just can't have this many wasted drives, and that's what I think the Cowboys had in this game. But you're right. The defense got out of what they did best.
Let's be honest, though. I mean, Arizona only had to face one short field drive. I mean, and if you look at it, the Cowboys in the 8 possessions, I think it was 9 possessions they had in this game. Look at the number of plays, especially after the touchdown, the initial touchdown. They went 3-3. 8, which was a short field drive for the touchdown, 31 yards. They went 3 plays on Dak's fumble, and then they went 8 plays and 75 yards. So there was not really...
It's a great call.
Not many drives there, right there. You know, when you start talking about...
And that's the idea of up-tempo, too, where it's like if you're going up-tempo and you have a 3-play drive...
Yeah, what are you doing right there? So, yeah, I think that Arizona did a great job of keeping you in check offensively.
So... At the beginning of the post-game show, you made a comment about you thought maybe Dak was a bit unsure based on what Vance Joseph showed defensively, and that we saw a lot of communication up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Could that be the reason for the lack of up-tempo, as Brad Sham asked? You know, we talked last week about the fastball.
Absolutely.
If you've got a guy at quarterback that's sort of unsure of where the blitz is coming from,
he was
then you want to huddle up.
Yeah, I think this is where Dak gets paralyzed sometimes, and I mean paralyzed in a way of thinking. He's so prepared in what he wants to do, and we hear the kills and the up and back to the line, and all that. But he's such a perfectionist when it comes to maybe wanting to get into the perfect play or the perfect call. Then all of a sudden, what he thinks is the perfect call, then they move or they adjust, or they move a linebacker, or they move the safety. And now he's in a decision again between, okay, do I go back or do I go for the perfect call again? There's that little bit of indecision right there. I think Dak prepares so hard for these games that he gets that paralysis of analysis.
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, because he's trying to get that thing in the absolute perfect play.
You asked Bobby Belt, we had him on, if that was a concern.
Yeah.
You asked Bobby that. I'm going to ask that question to you now.
It is a concern. It is a concern because when Dak, that's what Brad was talking about. The up tempo is more about letting it fly. When it's about playing fast. It's about playing on the move. It's not about trying to get into the perfect play. It's about let's just
react.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going.
See ball, throw ball.
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right, so let me ask y'all this honest question: are we the number one offense because of Dak Prescott, or because of Ezekiel Elliott? Or are we the number one offense because of Kellen Moore? Why aren't we the number one defense? Why aren't we the number one special teams? I want to know why, from y'all thoughts. I want to know why, or are we the number one offense because of Pollard? Why are we the number one offense? Let me see for everyone to speak on that. Because of bad teams. Okay, that's a dang good. Like every year, Cowboys they line up everything and say, "All right, we're gonna make sure Cowboys the only team to play bad teams." Why are we the number one offense in the NFL? Because of the offensive line, okay? Now, John says we the number one offense because of Dak. How are we the number one offense? And you can utilize next gen stats, Pro Football Focus, and you can also use Pro Football Reference. If you don't deserve it, because we don't want a team to play bad teams.
But I'll be interested in what Arizona did physically to this offensive line. I think that they did a great job of controlling the middle, and and then they forced, when they knew you weren't going to run the football, then all of a sudden then it became okay. Let's do things in the passing game and make it worse for Dak.
When you hear offensive line schemes, I mean, there's the man-to-man or the zone blocking schemes.
Yeah.
But then what else? I mean, what else does that entail other than not from a schematic perspective, but on a play-by-play. Okay, in this play, we've got this guard pulling, or we're going to pull the guard and the tackle here.
Right.
Or, I mean, what do you think of? I'm just trying to make sense of offensive line schemes, quote unquote.
I think that to me, that like I said, I think there's certain things you have to do when you're not.
I say we can use
powerful
we can use
enough on
next
the
gen
offensive line
stats
to
too.
block. But like tonight, that's no
Next gen
excuse.
stats.
That group with Smith
And ESPN.
Martin, Collins. That group,
It's not the best offensive line in the league anymore, but that's still a good enough offensive line.
That's an offensive line that needs to win the line of scrimmage, and probably didn't win the line of scrimmage enough tonight.
877-881-1053 is the number. 877.
Let me ask you this: Am I Kwame Brown? When he asked Stephen A. Smith, he refused to answer. Why was he at them schools? Let me ask y'all this. Why is Aaron Rodgers below 500 against winning teams? Y'all let me know. Why Aaron Rodgers is below 500 against winning teams? Why is Aaron Rodgers below 500 against winning teams? Somebody come up with that answer for me. Why is Aaron Rodgers below 500 against winning teams?
The question is, can you turn people over and can you get pressure? And this this defense is probably going to have its struggles if they don't do neither. Arizona did a great job of, the quarterback is such a weapon back there moving around. So when the offensive line struggles, we saw guys come free. We saw some rushers come free. This team defense is really, really good when they pressure and when they create turnovers. And when they don't do neither, then that's a problem. And they gave up some really, really big plays. So as far as carrying you, you play a team like Green Bay, and I kind of felt like that Dallas could match up with Green Bay. I really, really did. I really do feel like that there were some things that if all things being equal, that you didn't have to go up to Lambeau Field where it was 10 degrees or 5 degrees below zero, whatever, and you play a game. Kind of felt like, but these quarterbacks that you play that don't turn the ball over, like the guy in the Rams will turn the ball over. Let's look. The guy here with Arizona, he'd had turned the ball over some, and you couldn't get him to turn it over. But that guy in Green Bay won't turn the ball over.
Not in the playoffs.
So
But not in Green Bay.
Yeah. So you probably won't get pressure, and you probably won't get the guy to turn the ball over. So that to me, that's your issue right now playing defense.
Right. This game, the way that it played out, you're going to see games like this, the playoffs. It just comes down to, and this is sort of what we talked about going into the season, like we think that this offense is capable of outscoring teams. 30 points is a pretty good number in terms of like if they can reach 30 points.
They can't do without the balance, though. They really can't do without the balance.
Running game.
Yeah. They can't because
you can tell midway through this game.
It puts too much pressure on Dak to have to make every play. Yeah, every play. Yeah.
And now he knows if we're not running the ball with our running backs, I have to run the ball.
Yeah.
And now you're putting him in position to where.
Running the ball is not a terrible thing. It's just that one time he got hit on a good punch out.
877-881-1053 is the number if you'd like to get in on the postgame show. We heard Mike McCarthy say we know who we are.
We know who we are.
We'll get into that coming up next. But the postgame show is brought to you by.
Can somebody answer that question? Why is he 36-43 and 1? He had a tie. That's a .456 against winning teams above 500. That is a bad team beater. Hey, you should have a how they say the wife beater with the shirt? Dallas a bad team beater. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? He won 36 games, 43 losses, and 1 tie. Mike McCarthy was the head coach. That stat is also 2 years with the other coach too. They haven't compiled this year's 2021 season, but it is what it is. He do have a ring. That ring will go a long way. What year did he won that ring? Well, how long ago that was? Was it 10 years ago? Yep. Mike McCarthy should call the play. I don't know, man. I'm all in on this team. I'm all in. I think he do have a ring, though. Mike McCarthy got a ring, No, it wasn't 2000. It wasn't 2016. No, what year? It was 11 years ago. He got that ring. That's a good ring, though, because Super Bowl champions rings don't expire, by the way. So 2011. What year did Dak Prescott win a ring? Well, Dak Prescott haven't been playing for 11 years. We can always circle with a wagon. Execute better plays, I feel you. Nick Foles have a ring. Yep. I think Nick Foles, do they still have that statue for all of the Eagles fans? Do y'all still have that statue of Nick Foles out there? Yep. Shoot, we didn't have one since 1995. What year Dak was born? Was he born? What year did Dak Prescott? Look, we got to have one in 2022. I see you, baby. All right, Cowboy Nation. All right. We got 18 people watching, man. Y'all be sure to hit that like and share this content. Y'all want me to keep going? Traditional. Y'all want me to keep going? I can. I can try. I can try to keep going. Dak ain't it, Chief. Well, old folks say rode the horse you rode in on. So Dak Prescott. How long is Dak Prescott contract is, Cowboy Nation? How many more years Dak Prescott got? Chef Mac, I appreciate you. Score 13, yeah. 13-0, yeah. O-line need to play better. Yeah. 4 years. You got a 4-year contract. You got 4 more years with him, Dan. You got 4 more years to work it out. Now, with the 4 more years, Cowboy Nation, either you can continue to build around the quarterback and say, okay, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to put here. This is what I need to play here. This is what I need to surround the quarterback. Or you can go in that cycle. You can go in that cycle of trying to find that quarterback. You can go in that cycle of trying to look for that quarterback over and over again. What's blessing the Cowboys, believe it or not, was we fell upon Tony Romo and he kept it interested just enough, right? And we didn't go through that cycle of continue to look for a quarterback, And then we fell upon, hear me out, Cowboy Nation, Dak Prescott immediately after Tony Romo. So that's how long that cycle is. Now, there's other teams. Hear me out, Cowboy Nation. They're still looking for their quarterback since 2000. Look, I think the Washington football team is still looking for their quarterback, regardless of how you put it in certain situations. The Giants, after Eli, they're going to probably still look for the quarterback. I don't think that they sold on Jones, right? So now they got to go through that cycling of looking for their quarterback. Quarterbacks are hard to find, Cowboy Nation. Dak Prescott made bad plays better, yeah. Andy Dalton been benched twice. Now, the storyline is not set on Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. Who else was a quarterback? Mac Jones, he fell into the right system, baby. Now, that let you know, man, the system that you fall into, man, can take and carry you a long way, Cowboy Nation. So out of that draft, I think that what the Patriots are going to do, because they just beat the team 50-something to whatever, you know. But I can only imagine if Trevor Lawrence went to the Patriots, or Zach Wilson went to the Patriots. I think that the coaching staff can elevate, right? So it's a situation, Cowboy Nation, regardless of how you look at it. Zaytoven says Trevor Lawrence has been a disappointment. I recall a lot of people were ready to have him for the silver and blue. Yep. It's hard, Cowboy Nation, to find a quarterback. It's hard. Think of all, like, everybody is speaking glowingly of Aaron Rodgers, but think about all of the teams passed up on Aaron Rodgers. I think the Cowboys passed up on Aaron Rodgers because we had faith in Tony Romo, I believe, right? So if you want to blame anybody, Cowboys, we could have drafted Aaron Rodgers. But we had Tony Romo at the time. Joe Burrows was impressive today. Yes, indeed he was. Cincinnati got her, yeah. Romo never got this to the promised land. But we would never know, flat out, who Aaron Rodgers would have been if he played with the silver and blue on. Never know. He sat back and grow and develop in Green Bay land and sat behind Brett Favre to learn some things. Right? Some people fail to realize. But as glowingly as all this stuff shakes out, it's amazing how a quarterback can change the culture of the mindset. I think Drew Brees had a decision to go to the Saints or the Dolphins. And just look what he did. He went to the Saints. But all of that turnaround, he only presented one Super Bowl. Somebody said Zeke ain't either. Yeah, I feel you. Let's see what can happen over here, Cowboy Nation. I love y'all too, man. It's okay to y'all be angry and vent frustration. It's okay to be upset.
And through the media that, yeah, we know who we are, you know. But
it's not a statement game, is basically what he was answering.
Yeah, it's not. But, you know, but every one of your players believed it was a statement game. You know, every one of your players.
You can't just decide after the fact that it's not a statement game because you didn't make the statement.
Yeah, because you didn't make the statement. The statement you made is you let a team come in here shorthanded that is the 5th seed overall right now that you're probably going to have to play again. You gave them a tremendous amount of confidence to walk in here. If I'm Kyler Murray, I'm 9-0 in this facility. You know, high school, college, pro, whatever you want to tell me, I don't lose in this place. You know, and that's the kind of swagger he can, you know, and trust me, the rest of his teammates believe that too. You know, I mean, Cliff Kingsbury after the game said, you know, hey, well, you might be playing Dallas again to play in the playoffs again. He goes, I hope not. But in reality, Cliff Kingsbury's like saying, hey, if we have to go play these guys again, we'll come back here, we'll get on an airplane, we'll come back here and we'll kick their ass again. You know, that's what he'll say. You know, I mean, he has to say, oh, I hope not. But in reality, though, his team took a step in the right direction. They sent the right message today. You know, Arizona said, if you know what, we've got a shot. If we have to come back here as the 5th seed and play you again, we kind of feel like that we'll go somewhere else and win too. You know, not only will we win at your place, but we'll go somewhere else the next week. We've seen teams make runs. The Giants, you know, Tampa Bay last year, you know, win a tough game against a football team.
Right.
You know, then turn around and you know, win.
Please don't block my guy Swayze up my odds, man. Swayze, my guy. You know, don't block him. All right, so here's the thing, Cowboy Nation. Confidence goes both ways. I love what Brothers is saying, but confidence goes both ways. It could be the inverse too. Cowboys could be looking at it and saying, okay, if my kicker don't miss this kick, and if I don't fumble the ball, and if we input Amari Cooper in the game plan earlier, then we can win. And sometimes you can win off of a game and you talk too much. You talk too much. Buda Baker, he said, all we had to do is disguise our looks and we can throw Dak Prescott off his rhythm. Well, now there's tangible evidence that now you can say, this is what they're trying to do. We face them again, we can have a whole different scripted game plan. And lo and behold, they better pray for that same aficionado crew, right? That's how important it is to make sure you shallow a little bit and don't give everything away. I go back to tell you guys, write this down. Hear me out. Y'all, like I said, y'all may not like me, but I'm going to tell you guys one thing right here. I would rather have them inside the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing back in. Okay? So this team, regardless of how you look at it, if we play the Cards again, think about it. They beat us twice in our building. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, and I can hear the Eagles fans saying, hold on, Lord, wait a minute now, we played y'all now. But this is a common opponent against the Eagles versus the Cowboys. But watch out, though, Cowboy Nation. On top of that, but they will have D-Hop. They had D-Hop. That's cool. I think the Cowboys figured out something, and it was just a matter of minutes of being too late. You saw what happened. They said, Jordan Lewis, we like you, dog. But, man, hey, we're going to let you hit that silver bench over there. We're going to put Boss Man in. The Cowboys on that last series, I think that they figured something out. And it could just be being optimistic, Law. But don't fret, Cowboy Nation. That's all I'm saying. Don't fret. Because that's why I keep that chat log over here. You know what I'm saying? So we can go back. I go back sometime and watch it. Off season, I put my thing on autoplay, eat my oodles and noodles, eat my popcorn. And I'm reading, and I say, okay, this is what this guy said. Okay, this is what that guy said. Yeah. He ain't a real one. And I see him put real one in the chat. I don't want to call him out, but I like, he ain't really a real one. I saw when he faded and folded a little bit. And I said, man, who all D1? I said it for a reason. Everything is calculated, baby. I said, who all day one Parson fans? I see a whole bunch of D1s. But sometimes I go back and I watch it. I sit there and say, I see a third of people say, wow, we got a linebacker. We didn't need another linebacker. I see somebody say, oh, Lord, here goes another LVE. I be still here. Hey, Jay Lombardi, call him out.
Their way to show you.
Oh, my goodness, don't call him out, baby. Yeah. That's why I say don't block Philadelphia. Don't block Philadelphia, Mars. Philadelphia. One thing I can tell you about Philadelphia, when I know for sure that he absolutely get a kick out of the show. He get a kick out of the show because he tried to curve the conversation. He said, he like that gnat at the barbecue. You enjoying your meal, and the gnat don't care, if the food is good or if the food is terrible. The gnat just keep it flying around, and then here go Philadelphia. You like, damn, that gnat come regardless. And Philadelphia gonna remind you, hey, Law, what about 25 years, man? Hey, when the last time y'all won y'all Super Bowl? But I love it though. He been doing it. He's been doing it for a long. He keep the same energy. I mean, the Cowboys blew out the Eagles 41-21. He was still in the chat with all of the emojis. No. He couldn't ever be quick to say, hey, what about that 25? Wait, what about that 25 years, Law? Y'all haven't done anything. So I purposely go watch Lord Brunson, and I hit up Philly 500, and I just. Sometimes I click on there and I just go through the comments, just scrolling up. I said, damn, Philadelphia not even there. But I jumped on Mark Holmes' page and I see Philadelphia keeping the same energy. I love it, man. 25 years is sad, though, Cowboy Nation. It is. It is sad. But look, we ain't going nowhere, baby. We got 800 people in the chat, baby. Y'all some die-hard rollers, baby. Y'all here for me or y'all here for the Cowboys? Oh, my goodness. Don't y'all know? I'm going to be real transparent with y'all. Now, I ain't going to eat horse droppings. But y'all going to, look, when the Cowboys do win the Super Bowl, we're going to win one. They can't hold us back forever. Y'all going to see Law with some real tears on here. Y'all never see me cry. But, man, you know what I'm saying? Y'all going to see some real tears, man. I mean, we're going to have the boom boom room cooking over here. And I've seen it happen before. All the Cowboys got to do is just polish up a few things, man. We're not that far away, Cowboy Nation. Don't let us lose by 3 points against this game to turn your faith on this team. We on the right pathway, Cowboy Nation. We just got to correct a few little things. Can y'all just roll with me on that? Just a few little things, baby.
Visit S.
It's still on commercial. The Chiefs lost by 3. But I can tell you, I see somebody put that Chiefs lost by 3. I can flat out tell y'all. That Chief Jerome, he's still saying, hey, man, my team, we in the playoff. We're going to bounce. We're going to regroup. The Cincinnati is just a good team, young team, phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? We're going to bounce back. Watch. I can see Chief Jerome is speaking positive of his team. You know. Yeah, 11-5 is a whole lot better than 8-8. Rodgers a quarterback. Let me see. What the score is now? What is it? 50-0 now. I know what it is. I think some of y'all. It's 20. Ooh, he taking care of what he's supposed to do. Yeah, he drops back, scans the field. Oh yeah, it's a good pass to Adams right there in the middle. Look how they utilize Adams right in the middle of the cut. Yeah, woo! That Adams something special. It's just a little touch and go pass too. Now, is Aaron Rodgers real or the team just booty? Is the team booty? Or Adams real? Is Adam a sus wide receiver? Who would you take right now? Would you take Adams or number 19, Amari Cooper? Oh, did they put it? Look, let me ask y'all this. Real talk. No BS. Do you think Adam is the number one player on the game plan for that? Or they kind of put him out of the game plan? If you just pick up Adams, and you put him on the Cowboys, you pick up Amari Cooper, and you put him on the Packers, do you think they'll put him in the game plan? Well, let me go back to the target. Let me see how many times my guy Coop was targeted. Could be all Dak Prescott fault. He was targeted 7 times with 3 receptions for 18 yards. Let me go right here. Let me know if y'all can still see that. Go to ESPN. Let me see what the target is. Let me see how many times he targeted. I'm done. I'm through. The game it's the second quarter. Adams targeted 10 times. He's already targeted 10 times. Do you think that Adams is a part of the game plan? The running back targeted 6 times. Well, 8 receptions for 118 yards. Woo! He cooking over there, baby. That boy Adams is cooking. But you think he's part of the game plan? Oh, is it? I'm not even watching the game. 6 rushes for 69 yards. 6 rushes for 19 yards. Aaron Jones, not Aaron Rodgers, is averaging 11.5 yards per. Let me see what we average on the run. The Dallas rush. The Dallas rushing leader, Dak Prescott, 5 attempts for 20 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 9 carries for 16. He averaged 1.8 yards per rush. It's Dak Prescott's fault because Ezekiel Elliott only averaged 1.8 yards. I don't see nobody calling for Aaron Jones' head over there. You know what I'm saying? I think he's holding it down. Now, if you pick Ezekiel Elliott up and you put him on the Packers and you give us Aaron Jones, you think Aaron Jones will get average 1.8 yards? You think Ezekiel Elliott would do the same over there? Who's more of a weapon, Aaron Jones and Dillon, or Tony Pollard or Ezekiel Elliott? I'm asking for a friend. Man, the Vikings ass, though. I got Choctaw. But no, I'm just saying targeted. You know what I'm saying? Targets. This guy. Silky says, TP and Zeke. Rogers probably lied to everybody. Hey, man, my toe's falling off, man. He get the mercy rule. Jones and Pollard. Yeah.
In our fronts, they compromised early what we were trying to do to protect Dak, compromised that, compromised our ability to run. We went in with obviously run the ball. We got out of that, had to get out of that pretty quick, so we just played an overall game. That is the type of team they will be playing and very likely could play us. That's the type of team that will be playing.
I got you on the super chat. I'm going to read it in a few.
Jerry, how much disappointment on the fumble? Because if officials rule that a fumble, then they automatically review.
You got to have some timeouts left.
But if they rule it a fumble, it's automatically reviewed.
Well, they didn't rule it a fumble. That's why you save a timeout if you can. But of course, we were trying to keep something left on that clock to get it done. But that's the risk you take. You could need it when you use it. But I'm not that. I wish we had it left to use. Could have made a big difference, obviously. But in general, their physicalness, their defensive line's physicalness with our offense was a big, in my mind, thing out there. But the good news is we play a game like this, you see what it's going to be like. Every play is going to be like. Every play is a playoff play. And we were playing like that out there. That was a very intense game. And our guys fought all the way back, came back, had plenty of fight, as you would expect at the end. Very disappointing. But the positive is that's the kind
Craig,
of game
you'll kill me over here, Craig.
Right there.
Would you have any shake any confidence in what you guys can be?
Well, I'm not, and I don't see. I saw nothing about the way that individual play or team play that would shake your confidence. I saw what can happen to you when you play a playoff team, and they're making some good things happen. We knew all along that what we were dealing with, and the quarterback, we knew what we were dealing with relative to the challenges on with our offense. We expected them to be up. There were no surprises out there.
A lot of penalties. A lot of them came on third down. Real costly one. What did you make of that?
Expected those penalties on just to show you what I read right before we kick off. What I read was major concern. This group calls a lot, or a ticky-tack, they call a lot of penalties. And that's going to be a concern for us today. And of course, some of those plays that would have made us not look like physically we were struggling, some of those would have looked a lot better if we could have kept some of those third down, or some of those, not third down plays, but some of those we got called back. That probably has a big impact on how this thing looked. But it looked was a tough physical game. Their defense was very physical. We saw it throughout the game, and I was proud of the way we came back at the end, and we had everything out there that we want to play for, but we didn't take a big step back here at all as far as this team getting ready for the playoffs. And I'm not just looking for something good. This is the kind of expectation that you can be ready for.
You have to prove you can beat a team like this, playoff.
Well, you've got to, or you stop in the playoffs.
Oh, you cut Jerry off.
Jones, and one of the things he talked about, was asked about, was
I'm gonna get to these
the
super
lack
chats
of
in a few.
timeouts. So the Cowboys were trying to get a stop from the Cardinals to get the ball back down 3 points at the end of this game, and one of the runs, Edmonds fumbled the ball. They ruled him down. There was 2:22 left in the game, so at that point it's on the head coach to call for a challenge.
Right.
Problem was the head coach didn't have any timeouts left, so he can't challenge in that situation. And so Jerry was sort of asked about that and making sure that you have timeouts so that you don't leave yourself in that kind of a situation. I think we all agree here, Cowboys had plenty of opportunities to overcome these mistakes themselves and make plays to win the game, but I mean, Broadus, I think that was clearly a huge part of this game. We talk a lot about clock management with Mike McCarthy. He had to take a early timeout in the second half because he didn't have the right personnel in the field when it looked like Arizona might go for it in a 4th and goal situation from the 2 or 3 wherever they were. So he calls a timeout, then they ended up kicking the field goal there, but then had to call timeouts later on to try to stop the clock. At any rate, Cowboys, had they had a challenge, may have used it and won there, and that obviously could have changed the fortunes of this game a bit.
It could have.
It could have. All right, so I'm going to touch on blaming other refs. The owner talking about the refs, I can give it to the owner, but that goes to show you that the players sounding and they echoing what the owner is saying. It was a rule on the field. It was a fumble. I get it. We needed to have a challenge. We need to have a timeout in order to call a challenge. If was a 5th, right? It's over with. We can get mad at the aficionados all the time. But these officials are going to be who they are. And Jerry Jones, I think your son is on the ruling committee. If you really want to use challenges, I think that they shouldn't matter whether it be if you have a timeout or not. I think that if you really want to say, okay, if this justifiable that he actually fumbled the ball and I want to challenge the officials, then dog it. You should still be allowed to use the challenge flag. And if you somehow lose on it, then your team get penalized, whether it be a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct, whatever it may be. 15-yard. Matter of fact, you can put it on 15-yard delay of game. When your challenge doesn't go through, 15-yard delay of game, and the offense, you better make sure you had that call right. You're on the ruling committee, or you have the officials to call the right play, especially on a turnover on down play. But what was ruled on the field, the officials, that's what matters. All right, so I'm going to read these super chats. Shout out to you about 3 minutes ago. If I can get back to it. Appreciate y'all, man. I think it's somewhere right here. Bear with me, Cowboy Nation. Got to read this. Spock, can you save them? He said, do the Cowboys DB not realize on how stupid they look running down the field with their arms open tackling receivers and then looking dumbfounded when they get the PI call? They have done this for years. All right, so the gunner does not get penalized for PI. Normally, and I have to say this, Nashawn is normally a gunner. Nashawn Wright is one of the gunners on his team. But I get it. They caught him in an uncompromisable situation and he couldn't turn around. Sad on Nashawn Wright. But I know the other play that you're referring to, Donovan Wilson, he drifted and he didn't turn his head around. If he made contact and he turned his head or tilted his head around, they probably would have swallowed that play. But by him making contact and rarely turning his head around, didn't even turn his head around, that's PI by the ladder of the law. But PI calls, believe it or not, and holding calls are all subjective. They're all subjective. It's based upon the official's interpretation. All right. So Reggie Pitts, he commented, and shout out to you for your super chat. He says this team will go as far as our offensive line and our defensive front would carry us. Reggie Pitts. That means you listen to my other show. Oh, the Vikings scored 20-3. Appreciate you for the update. The game is won and lost in the trenches. One thing that you got to establish in playoff game, good defense and the ability to run the ball. Running the ball would take away all of the disguised look. It would get those cover shells, the cover two, quads. It would get quarters, I meant to say. It would get all of that out because you're running the ball. You're matching the physicality. I like Buda Baker. But come on, Cowboy Nation. He's 193 pounds. You run at him with a 310 guy a couple of times, he ain't gonna stick his nose down there too many times. But he's good. The Cowboys must establish that. And I come here to tell y'all the bevy of bad news that I don't think, Cowboy Nation, a third-year offensive coordinator and Dak Prescott can establish that on a long-term basis with that mentality of running the rock. So we're going to have to win other ways, unfortunately, fortunately. All right, Jeremiah Butler says, Cowboys stink. Shout out to you for the super chat, though. See y'all next week's Eagles Jerome.
Shame.
Eagles Jerome.
Shame.
Boy, oh boy. I can't wait to see you next week. I'm going to hit up Bird Gang. He hit me up and said, Law, it's time for you to come on my show because I came on his show the week whenever we played the Eagles. So we will have that conversation now this week. Keith Floyd says, Law, you just put the finger on the problem. Green Bay has one or two players that they are key to the game, whereas more focus on too many players on the game plan. Yeah, the game plan, they pivot, and it seems as if, though, hear me out, Cowboy Nation, that Cedric Wilson was the focal point in the second half. Tony Pollard, I like what he was able to do, but Tony Pollard, he didn't block as well as what we wanted him to do in this game. But neither here nor there. Sometimes you can have too many options, and it can look like that. But dog at Kellen Moore, sit down with Kellen Moore. Cowboys need to sit down with Kellen Moore and say, please don't use Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb as decoys. Please don't have CeeDee Lamb running punt returns and kickoff returns, what have you, and he's too gasped to play his original plays as it relates to route running. It's a lot of running as it relates to wide receivers. I need him to be focusing on running his routes. I need to see – let me see how many targets my guy got now. Let me see how many targets Adams got now. He got 10 targets right now. I need a minimum of 15 targets with Cooper. Regardless of it is, Dak Prescott, in your head, I need 15 targets. I need 15 targets to a Cooper. And I need to hold Amari Cooper accountable. And I need at least 10 targets for my guy CeeDee Lamb. I need them. Everybody else can be decoys. That's just my thoughts. All right, let me read some more super chats. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to read all of these super chats. Jeremiah Butler, Eagles Jerome says, Happy New Year's, by the way. And he put Fly, Eagles, Fly. You better keep that same energy next week. You better keep the same energy, but I appreciate you. Spock, can you save me? He says, and I appreciate you for the $9.99. Law, no. I watch a lot of other games, and DBs don't just run over the receivers, while the DBs never turn their head around. DBs, let me see if I'm reading this. I watch a lot of other games. Indeed, DBs don't just run over the receivers while the DBs never turn their heads around. Oh, you talking about in general? I feel what you're saying. I think that one of the announcers saying that the Cowboys are the most penalized team in the NFL, but I feel what you're saying on that. Key Derrick says, man, Law, those tip passes was crazy. How do you stop things like that from happening? It's a good observation. Good observation. They did a hell of a game study, film study. They had like three balls that were tipped. First and foremost, off the line, off the LOS, your front five got to be there. I think pump fakes will work too. Get the guys in the air, and then you can run it with your quarterback. But those were just remarkable plays, man, all I can think of. And that could just been scouting tape from their defensive coordinator. Dak Prescott like to throw it low in a straight line instead of out and up. That's the only thing I can think of. Eric just said, Olsen said, man, Dak Prescott just sucked, man. Leave Dak alone, man. Leave him alone. Let's see.
For the sake of, I need a timeout in case I need to challenge something. You
man,
want to
you
save
didn't know that.
timeout?
Yeah, you didn't know. I mean, seriously. I mean, you're.
But do you always keep a time on your back pocket until you get to 2 minutes?
Man, you were 14 seconds away, or whatever, 16 seconds away from them overturning that.
Right.
I mean, that to me was just bad luck. That's bad luck.
Yeah.
Because you were. What was it? They happened with 216, I think 214.
222, 216.
Yeah, it was something like that. But yeah,
whatever it was close, but not close enough.
It wasn't close enough. Yeah, you couldn't. It was not close enough to challenge.
And look, I mean, we've talked about this, but it's important to note, as we talk about. First of all, that might not have been overturned anyways. But even if
I really appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in. It's 9:00. I just realized the time. Oh my God, it's 9:00. Cowboy Nation, we'll open up the phone lines tomorrow. And we do the conversational piece. You guys can spit your mind. We're going to need Healing Mondays now. It's a Healing Monday. And then we'll regroup. We'll focus in on, I believe, the Eagles Wednesday. By Wednesday, we will be talking about the Eagles. But I do know we got the final word Tuesday night. And maybe, just maybe, Wednesday night I can pull one of the Eagles podcasters over and we'll talk about it. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's figure this out. I enjoyed you guys. I thank those who gave the donations. I thank those who wanted to give but couldn't give. I thank those who shared this content. I really appreciate each and every last one of you guys. Be sure to check out my guys, 105.3 The Fan. If you don't have access to the 105.3 The Fan, here's a link and go hit that listen now. And if you're just not jumping on, hit the rewind button, baby, and you can listen to what we talked about and discussed earlier. This team, hey, we're 11-5, not 5-11. Let's stay focused. It's going to be Eagles week. We're going to have Healing Mondays for tomorrow, and then we're going to focus, get right back on the horse, and still represent the silver and blue, baby. That's what we got to do. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Thank everybody for jumping in. Be sure, if it's your first time ever, hit that subscribe button, though, and help the nation grow. And growing and sharing is caring, baby. Let's not fold up, baby. I tell people, let's not fold up.
No.
Yeah. Somebody folding up over there. Oh, I hate losing. But I come here to tell you, Cowboy Nation, everybody and beyond, please write this down. Write this all the way down into your hearts. It's all about the temperaments of your mind. Shout out to you, Gina. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or lied about, don't deal in lies, or hate it and yet give way to hating, and yet don't look too good, nor talk too wise. If you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those two imposters just the same. And listen to this one right here, Cowboy Nation. If you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or just watch the things you gave your whole life for 25 years, broken and stooped, and build back up again with ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, Shay Sharp, Acho Now, and all of the haters. They even watching right now to write down what they gonna say tomorrow. Cowboy Nation, if you could take one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one turn to lose and start again at your beginnings, and guess what? And never breathe one word of your loss. That's why I said, hey, don't worry about the officials. Don't worry about what they done did or what they done said. Don't breathe one word of your loss. No. If you can walk with kings and presidents, nor lose the calming touch, if neither foe or loving friends can harm you, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, Cowboy Nation, then you really unlock the true meaning of what it takes to be a champion, a warrior. But most importantly, Cowboy Nation, you have unlocked what it takes to be a man. Write that down. Tell your loved ones about that storyline, because those are the secrets to life. I can go a little bit further, but that right there, the mindset, embodies everything, Cowboy Nation. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Come on. Just believe in what you can believe in, Cowboy Nation. You achieve it.
Nowadays, nothing really excites me. They wanted me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell them it's
Not everybody can say they going to the playoffs, right? This is a vast improvement from last year. Come on. How many games we won last year?
Hit the door and the door just whole team here.
Somebody put that in the chat.
Young, but I move like a new deal to my lawyer. If it down in my management, I'm just warming up, wait till I old producers saw the numbers one. Different colors in my baggy light. Chalk it up, talk of the town where you're talking up. Wanna get you a ring and you tough enough. Wanna get you new things with your pockets dull. Run it up. I used to be quiet and out of luck. Now I move up and move humble cause the hate and the jealousy. My mama telling me count up your blessings and run it up. Nowadays nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's I got wifey on bling and she
come on.
Freeze.
Shout out to everybody that's watching, baby.
Jeez, no, please, no photos. I keep giving game away.
Get ready, Philly. We coming.
I got paid to play today.
Yo, what my boy Fox said, my 4-4, make sure all your kids walk, bro. Come on, bring the heat, baby.
Y'all to take the pain away. In my own lane,
come on.
Road. I would never sell my only soul. Heard your whole team was for sale.
Come on.
On the market for the low.
Hey.
Who the realest we might never know. All this acting, you gon' play a role. Give you the world when they sign you up. Try you out and then they line you up.
Come on. Ooh.
Now you're looking hungry, ribs are touching, need some food.
Shout out to Cowboys Experience.
Like surprised, but you was fooled. Boy, get out.
We hope all is well with my dog.
Now you got the pen and
Michael Gallup too.
Take my moves. Nowadays nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's I got wifey on bling and she.
We up out here, baby.
Photo, please, no
bring it. Right here.
Please, no photos.
Come on.
Nowadays nothing really excites me. Only one of me and nobody's like me. Phone ringing and I tell him it's I got wifey on.
He needs some milk.
Photo, please,
come on. Hey, ho, come on. It's official. It's time to get to the Philly week now. How that Philly pack taste, huh? Roll it tight, baby. Let's go. We up out of here. One love. Let's go. Law Nation, got to go get something to eat now. Yo.